In the top stories, Prime Minister Harris announces investigation into Nigerian with SKN citizenship. Stimulus package payments continue this week, and the police investigate man's death at sea. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Use BioCare Lab Strong Ends products to supercharge your hair with deep, lasting hydration from nature's most amazing moisturizers, raw moisturizing honey, and conditioning shea butter. These ingredients pull moisture from the hair to boost, strengthen, and restore the oldest and weakest parts of your hair, your ends, helping to keep them stronger. Wow, beautiful hair. Strong Ends. Dry, damaged, breaking hair and no hair growth? Strong ends? Whoa! I'm not cutting this hair for anything. Weak, thinning edges due to weaves and braids. Strong ends? Longer and free of split ends. Get supercharged from roots to end with BioCare Lab Strong Ends Honey and Shea Butter Infused Relaxer and Hair Growth Product. Available retail at CNC Superfoods on the Bay Road and wholesale at CNC Trading on the CAP Southwell Industrial Park. Telephone 465-4081.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Caleb Berridge. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris says an investigation has been launched into fraud allegations surrounding Ramon Alawonwa Abbas of Nigeria, also known as Hush Puppy, who applied for citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis in 2019. During his presentation during Thursday morning's sitting of National Assembly, the Prime Minister clarified that Mr. Abbas did not apply for citizenship through the Citizenship by Investment program, but through marriage to a national.
Based on information which he presented, he was so entitled, having married on October 29, 2018, to a national of St. Kitts and Nevis, to wit Shawana Chapman. The application on the face of it met all the requirements and was processed in accordance with Section 92, subsection 1 of the St. Christopher and Nevis Constitution Order 1983. Let me be clear that this was not an application under our Citizenship by Investment program. Rather, as outlined, this was an application process on the basis of marriage to a national of St. Kitts and Nevis and in accordance, importantly, with the Constitution of the Federation.
He said, however, certain serious allegations have emerged in relation to Mr. Abbas, including the allegation that he obtained his St. Kitts Nevis citizenship by fraudulent means, so an investigation has been launched.
As a consequence, my government has taken decisive steps to protect the reputation and integrity of our country. Specifically, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gilroy Brandy, has initiated an investigation into this matter with the full support of all relevant international law enforcement bodies. The passport of Mr. Abbas has been deactivated, and the matter of the revocation of Mr. Abbas's citizenship has been put before our Attorney General for advice and guidance on the same.
He said the government will continue to be a strong partner in international efforts to combat fraud, money laundering, terrorist financing, human trafficking, and all other forms of criminal behavior. Persons who have been approved for assistance under the government's most recent stimulus package have started receiving payments, and a new batch of payments will be dispersed on Friday. That's according to Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris during Thursday morning's sitting of National Assembly, where he explained that bus drivers and households with persons with disabilities would be among those to receive payments on Friday.
With respect to applicants under the fuel subsidy program, 62 persons, these will be bus operators, have been approved, and by this Friday all 62 should receive their payments. Those who applied for support to households with persons with disabilities, that is, with persons living with disabilities, they should receive their first payment tomorrow, August the 6th. Additionally, we have approved some support to Addie's Place. This is a private provider of services to persons with disability. I think it is operated from Greenlands.
He noted that payments of claims started on July 30th, and so far 645 applications have been submitted to the Treasury for monies to be paid to the beneficiaries. Another batch of payment will be processed on Friday, and every week further payments will be made to qualifying applicants. The stimulus package is part of the government's efforts to assist persons who have been financially impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of 37-year-old Gerald McDonald of Connery, who died while at sea on Monday, August 2nd, 2021. Investigations so far have revealed that he went out to sea with a group of males to do tankless spearfishing and to dive for whelks off the island of Redonda. Sometime after 7 a.m., McDonald went diving and did not resurface. Reports also indicate that the other individuals searched for him, and he was discovered several meters away from the fishing vessel in an unresponsive state. They brought him ashore and called the authorities. The police responded, as well as the St. Kitts Nevis Coast Guard, the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department, and the Nevis Air and Seaports Authority. McDonald was pronounced dead by the district medical officer. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. Persons with information about this incident are urged to contact the Charlestown Police Station at 469-5391, the nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Meanwhile, investigations continue into the disappearance of Richard Russell Pogson of Lodge Village. According to police, he was reported missing on Sunday. ZIZ understands that continuous searches have taken place since then by officers of District B on St. Kitts. ZIZ further understands that his jeep is parked at the pasture at Arthur's with keys on site. Anyone having information can call the nearest police station or the crime hotline at 707. After the break, Public Works Department to address flooding at Market and JNF and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on police units outlined. Stay with us.
Your safety and convenience are most important to us at Flow. That's why we provide many ways for you to keep your account connected, which now includes FastPay, the new convenient payment option on our website. No registration required. Or download the MyFlow app to pay anytime from anywhere on your smartphone or tablet. If you wish to pay your bill in person, feel free to visit any of our fully sanitized branches. Flow is committed to helping you stay connected. Let's do this together.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
Yo! You look like the dude who was shopping at Furniture and Appliances. See, my friend, you look like you buy something from the Ashley Home Store. How you know? Because we get the cashback coupons and the free groceries for a year!
Cashback is back at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture. Shop now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year.
Welcome back. Following reports of flooding at two public institutions, the Public Works Department is responding with promised infrastructural upgrades. Mervyn Thompson tells us more.
During the morning hours of Wednesday, videos were circulated on social media showing flooding at the public market. George Gilbert at the Public Works Department said they were called to the scene and gave an assessment of the situation.
The drainage system around the market, the perimeter of the market, and it appears as if during the heavy rain this morning, those drains were blocked and it caused the market, the floor of the market to be flooded. It appears as if there were garbage, bottles in those drains which caused the blockage and the water backup. So one of the things we are going to ensure is that the drains are suitable, adequate size, and if they are not adequate size, we will actually upgrade the size of them. And if they are adequate size, we are going to ensure that they are kept clean, and we are going to have a discussion with the permanent secretary and the director to ensure that they have a program in place for ongoing cleaning and maintenance work at the market so that these things wouldn't reoccur.
He pledged a quick turnaround in order for the vendors to be comfortable using the space.
What we have seen this afternoon is there are some skylights in the roof, and around the skylights there are some corrosion, and it appears as if that's where most of the water came from this morning. So we are here, we took some measurement, and we see some corroded galvanized sheets or galvalume sheets. We took some measurement of the area, and what we are going to do, we are going to have discussion with the permanent secretary and director for the market, agriculture, and we are going to find out exactly what the intention in the short term, the medium term, and also in the long term for the development of the market in terms of the rehabilitation work. So we have picked up some information, and we are going to do some calculation and see where we go from there.
The team also assessed the ophthalmologic wing of the JNF General Hospital, which also sustained some flooding. Gilbert gave an update of what will be done to address the situation there.
Now, this morning it appears if there was some flooding in the area on some of the corridors. What is happening is that currently we have a contractor on site who is doing some work to the roof in the area. The work has been slow in progress due to the COVID-19, but he's on site and he's working, trying to complete his work. So where we stand by the Eye Care Clinic, that is a part of the phase 3 of the JNF rehabilitation project. We will keep monitoring the hospital in the event of heavy rain or storm approaching and see what we can do to mitigate against the flooding in the various areas.
According to Gilbert, the committee is now at the stage of drawing up the plans for Phase 3 after completion of a tendering process won by Design Collaborative of Barbados. Mervyn Thompson, ZIZ News.
Two police managers discussed the effects that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on their units during ZIZ Radio's Policing With You program on Thursday. Superintendent Travis Rogers, who is the tactical unit's commander, said the pandemic has been a strain on the organization on a whole due to the lockdowns and curfews since the pandemic entered the country. He said specifically the drug squad had to be quarantined, which left that unit inactive for more than 14 days.
My department was faced, and I specifically point out to the drug squad. The drug squad comprises of just about 10 persons at this time. And all of our guys, we had 50% of them were affected by the virus itself. And then because they work as a group, they had to be in quarantine. So that unit was dormant for 14 days and more. So there was no activities from them. The SSU, on the other hand, we didn't suffer any major setback in terms of persons getting the virus. However, some persons who are connected, because drug squad and SSU, they work hand in hand, and some persons who might have been affiliated with them in close contact had to be quarantined, but the numbers was very minimal.
As it pertains to vaccination, Superintendent Rogers said his unit understands the importance that vaccination plays in them carrying out their duties in a safe manner, and as such, 99.9% of his unit is vaccinated. Second in charge of the Crime Directorate, Superintendent James Francis, said officers under his purview had to contend with longer working hours due to tasks such as conducting patrols.
We worked the long hours. The hours became a little longer in terms of because we had to focus on investigation and at the same time assist with operations in terms of patrols. So you find the hours began to get very long. So you find that persons at first were a little disgruntled. So we find that I had to have several meetings with individuals.
He added that officers from various units had to come in to assist with work shifts because the officers that were supposed to work were in quarantine. Superintendent Francis said very few officers in his units were affected by the virus, but those who were found to be positive were quickly isolated. The Rotary Club of St. Kitts has registered appreciation to the Cuban delegation of doctors and nurses that came to St. Kitts to assist with the management of the COVID-19 virus. At the club's meeting at the Poinciana restaurant on Thursday, a donation of 34 bags containing 2,000 masks, along with SKN Tourism brochures, notepads, and pens, were handed over to the delegation. In handing over the donation, President of the Rotary Club of St. Kitts, Dr. Dwayne Archibald, thanked them for the important role they played in the fight against COVID-19 in St. Kitts and Nevis.
And on behalf of the Rotary Club of St. Kitts and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we would like to thank Dr. Nilda and Alexis for helping us here in the battle against COVID-19. They played a very important role in the medical field, and for that we'd like to give them a little token of appreciation coming from also Ministry of Tourism.
The donation was received by internal and emergency medicine specialist Nilda Correa Lopez and intensive care nurse Alexis Diego Pompey. A statement from the club said the delegation leaves the island on Friday to return to Cuba as they are needed there urgently. With the virus spreading in Cuba, we wanted to present them with a token of appreciation for their assistance here. And finally, on the local scene, the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, SCANIPA, is the recipient of a platinum sponsorship by New Generation Engineering, a local company operating in Bastia. At its handing over ceremony at SCANIPA's secretariat on Wednesday, a $5,000 check was presented to SCANIPA by the company's general manager and founder Nubian Griot. The donation will assist in executing activities that SCANIPA has planned for its 20th anniversary. Griot said at the ceremony that he is pleased to have taken part in ensuring that the youth have a platform to grow.
It was a pleasure for us to involve ourselves in this partnership. Our civic responsibility in these tough times, as the gentleman just said, is to make sure that the youths have a platform and an environment to grow for the future, and we were grateful to engage in this partnership.
President of SCANIPA, Patrice Harris, used the opportunity to express her and the association's gratitude to Mr. Griot and his company for their donation.
And we're happy for companies like New Generation Engineering that have shown that they are corporate partners to associations like ourselves. So we want to thank Mr. Griot for his donation today, and we will ensure that we'll put it to good use.
The handing over ceremony was also attended by the association's public relations officer, Malachi Ferguson, and Hanif Charles, chairperson of SCANIPA's anniversary committee. SCANIPA will celebrate its 20th anniversary over a 20-day period with activities including a parliament sitting, a regional panel discussion, a scholarship and mentorship program, charity initiative, debate competition, and cocktail reception. Coming up in regional news, Minibus Union disagrees with mandatory vaccination. The details when we come back.
Yo! You look like the dude who was shopping at Furniture and Appliances. See, my friend, you look like you buy something from the Ashley Home Store. How you know? Because we get the cashback coupons and the free groceries for a year!
Cashback back is back at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture. Shop now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year.
Your safety and convenience are most important to us at Flow. That's why we provide many ways for you to keep your account connected, which now includes FastPay, the new convenient payment option on our website. No registration required. Or download the MyFlow app to pay anytime from anywhere on your smartphone or tablet. If you wish to pay your bill in person, feel free to visit any of our fully sanitized branches. Flow is committed to helping you stay connected. Let's do this together.
And we're moving now to news on the regional scene. A minibus union in Guyana is contemplating rigid action after the new COVID regulation states that they must be vaccinated before operating. Here's more from Travis Chase.
The United Minibus Union is not in support of mandatory vaccination for minibus operators. That's according to President of the United Minibus Union, Ian Andrews, who spoke with reporters Wednesday morning.
I do not agree with that. You know, our Constitution clearly states that one should have a choice on whether one wants to be vaccinated or not.
According to the updated measures, which were gazetted on Thursday, July 29th, and cover the month of August 2021, in order to transport members of the public, every operator and conductor of any public transportation service shall be vaccinated and always have an identification document and their vaccination card in possession.
So I don't know what they plan to do, but I will never support that. And I will fight against it in any way possible. They are not consulting with persons. There is no consultation. All you know is that Friday something appear in the paper, so it's in the official gazette, and it will be started by Monday, and threatening. All we hear is threats and threats all the time.
Andrews, who had been advocating for minibuses to be allowed to carry only 65% of its capacity to allow for social distancing and help stop the spread of COVID-19, says that this new measure by the government will be met with resistance.
Certain actions we are prepared to take that I don't want to say openly, but we are going to look to see where things are going, and we are going to make some very decisive actions to protect our membership.
For the United Minibus Union, they feel that their human rights are being violated. Nightly News questioned the Minister of Health on Wednesday on whether government feels they are trampling upon the rights of public transportation owners and the public at large.
I hear a lot of people talking about human rights too, right? But you imagine if you get COVID and you die, how much human rights would you enjoy then?
According to the new gazetted regulation, all cab drivers and conductors of public transportation, including water taxis, must be vaccinated. Failure to comply with these measures will be treated as an offense, and those contravening the regulations could face charges. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
After months of restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Brazil's samba has returned. More in this Africa News report.
The sound of samba music is once again reverberating through the dance halls of Rio de Janeiro as troops return to the rehearsal floor after months of coronavirus restrictions. While the pandemic forced the cancellation of carnivals for February 2021, many now expect a blowout performance for the festivities early next year. Performers twisted and twirled to the heavy beat of samba on the dance floor in an exuberant first rehearsal bringing dancers and musicians together after a long absence. Along with being a dancer for a samba school, I am actively involved in the fight against COVID-19. People got sick not only because of COVID, but it also left people with a lot of anxiety that caused a lot of disorders. And samba, for those who don't know, is a cure for the soul. Dancers and band members from the Padre Miguel Samba School in the western suburb of Rio practiced in the auditorium Tuesday night. It was the first time the 100-strong ensemble had been able to gather since the pandemic first hit Brazil. City authorities had prohibited all such gatherings as infection rates and deaths from the coronavirus prompted strict restrictions on crowds and social gatherings. I tried to find the best time during the pandemic to bring the group together. I am sure 90% of everyone here has at least the first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and many have already taken the 2 doses. So now is the time to bring everyone together. With increased vaccinations and lowered COVID infection rates, samba schools are now back in action in Brazil, a welcome development for thousands of participants who spend much of the year preparing for the annual carnival.
Coming up, WHO calls for halting COVID-19 vaccine boosters in favor of the unvaccinated. We'll tell you more when we come back.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy a life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
Welcome back. The World Health Organization is calling for a halt on COVID-19 vaccine boosters until at least the end of September as the gap between vaccinations in wealthy and poor countries widens. Here's more.
WHO is calling for a moratorium on boosters until at least the end of September to enable at least 10% of the population of every country to be vaccinated.
The World Health Organization on Wednesday called for a pause in booster shots to the already fully vaccinated to focus on countries where supply is low, as the more infectious Delta variant threatens areas with low vaccination rates and strains healthcare systems. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus on Wednesday called for an urgent reversal of vaccine distribution to meet the needs of poorer countries.
I understand the concern of all governments to protect their people from the Delta variant. But we cannot and we should not accept countries that have already used most of the global supply of vaccines, using even more of it.
According to the WHO, low-income countries have only been able to administer 1.5 doses for every 100 people due to lack of supply, a number far lower than in high-income countries.
It's a false choice.
But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki pushed back Wednesday, saying the U.S. is prepared to provide some Americans with booster shots, if approved by regulators, and can continue to donate vaccines.
We announced just yesterday that we hit an important milestone of over 110 million vaccines donated to the world. So we've taken action on the global level, far more than any country around the world. We're asking the global community to also step up.
The United States in July signed a deal with Pfizer and BioNTech to buy 200 million additional doses of their COVID vaccine to help with pediatric vaccination, as well as possible booster shots. With the fast-spreading Delta variant, some countries, like Israel, have already begun to administer booster shots to people over the age of 60, while others, like the U.S., are still debating whether they are, at this point, necessary.
Dozens of bodies of Ethiopians from the Tigray region are being buried in eastern Sudan. The bodies, some with gunshot wounds, were washed up on the banks of a river that runs along Ethiopia's border with Eritrea before crossing into Sudan. Al Jazeera's Heba Morgan reports from Kassala, Sudan.
For almost a week now, Gebre Tensai Gebre Korostos, an Ethiopian farmer in Sudan's eastern Kassala state, has been playing the role of gravedigger. The banks of the Sitate River that flows between the two countries has been carrying the bodies of Ethiopians he says are from Humera in Tigray, where a conflict has been raging for nearly a year now.
We were called in about 5 days back when the first bodies started appearing. Since then, we've been burying people nearly daily. Most come with their hands tied behind their backs. Some had gunshots wounds in the head, others in the back. We buried more than 40 so far.
The bodies were found at the end of last week, a few days after dozens of new refugees from Tigray arrived at a reception center in Kassala. Humera, near the border with Sudan, is one of the few areas still under the control of the Ethiopian government and Amhara militias. But the Tigrayan defense forces took over the capital, Mekelle, and other major cities weeks ago. Some of the new arrivals say they witnessed hundreds trying to escape Humera and were killed and thrown into the river. Legacy says he was part of the group that found some of the bodies and buried them.
We were told by refugees that people were being killed and thrown in the river. Then we found the bodies, hands tied behind their back, some shot in the chest, some in the head. We knew they were Tigrayans from Humera.
Most of the graves were dug just meters from the river. There are several burial sites like this one along the Sitate River, each with different numbers of bodies. But people here in Wad El Hilew say not all those found in the river were pulled out. And while the bodies of those who died trying to escape Tigray are buried here, there are reports of similar graves in the region where the death toll is unknown. Since the start of the conflict in November last year, there has been accusations by rights groups of atrocities by the warring parties. Many Tigrayans have reported being targeted for their ethnicity, raising concerns of ethnic cleansing and genocide. At least 2 million people have been displaced and 60,000 have fled to Sudan. A communications blackout continues, and humanitarian organizations say more than 5 million people are in need of aid. Ethiopians here, including Gebre Tensai, say they hope their work would now be over. But he knows as long as the conflict continues in Tigray, there'll be more bodies to bury on both sides of the border. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Wad El Hilew, Kassala.
Up next in sports, SKNFA elections in August, and heroes welcome for teen Olympic swimmer. Stay with us.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy a life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
I took the vaccine because I want the in-person audience experience at Sugar Mass 50.
I took the vaccine because I want to be performing with all my peoples on Ultra Truck this year for Carnival.
I get vaccinated because I want to be on the road for Sugar Mass 50.
The reason I chose to be vaccinated because of my profession as an entertainer was to have a safer, brighter carnival.
I am DJ Flames and I got vaccinated because I want Sugar Mass 50 to be greater than ever.
I took the vaccine because I miss entertaining thousands of people and I miss hosting my own events. See you at Sugar Mass 50. Boom.
Get vaccinated quickly to turn up Sugar Mass 50.
First up in sports, the SKNFA Executive Committee election is slated for August 29th at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Andre Huey, media consultant to the SKNFA, has more.
It's official. Don Grant and Atiba Harris will be the presidential candidates for the upcoming St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association SKNFA Executive Committee elections, slated for August 29th. The SKNFA this week released the list of candidates who will contend for the positions in the upcoming elections. The list was issued in accordance with Article 11 of the SKNFA Electoral Code, thus providing the requisite notice to the SKNFA membership. The list of candidates nominated to contest the various positions on the Executive Committee are Don Grant and Atiba Harris as presidential candidates, First Vice President Cornel Williams and Sean White, Second Vice President Tonya Lawrence and Cuthbert Keynes. Members Raymond Brantley, John Bergen, Dwyer Edmead, Elaine Morris, Marjorie Jordan, Tasha Parry, Joseph Wilson, Ernest Queely, Kendale Liburd, Phil Cooper, Almond Crook, Javine Blanchett, Carlton Pinney, and S. Patricia Claxton. The 2021 SKNFA Congress is scheduled to take place on Sunday, the 29th of August, at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort Grand Ballroom. The outgoing president, Mr. Anthony Johnson, served 2 terms as president and has signaled his intention not to seek re-election.
St. Lucia Olympic swimmer Michaeli Charlemagne received a hero's welcome after breaking the local record in the 50-meter freestyle at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The teenager was among 5 athletes chosen by the St. Lucia Olympic Committee to represent the country at the Olympics. Here's more.
18-year-old Olympian Michaeli Charlemagne has been celebrated for her exploits in the pool after recording a personal best time and breaking the national record at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The teen finished second in her heat with a time of 26.99, a 0.28 improvement on the national record, which she set some 2 years ago. Charlemagne says she went into the race with intentions to hone her craft.
Going in, my 2 goals were to swim a personal best time and also to just go into the meet open-minded, taking in as much as possible so that it could make me a better athlete as I continue my career. But due to COVID, I was not able to compete in as many meets as I would like to, so that was something that I had in the back of my mind. But I also told myself that I started a new school 2 years ago, and the training has increased, so that was kind of motivating for me.
Charlemagne was met with a warm welcome upon her return to St. Lucia over the weekend. Incoming Rosile MP Kenson Casimir says the teen is a role model worthy of emulation by other youngsters, including his children. Member and the past president of the St. Lucia Olympic Committee, Richard Pitterkin, highlighted the grueling journey undertaken by athletes to qualify for the Olympics.
You must be glad in a sense to be back from Tokyo, because I know what it was like. A lot of people don't understand how tough it is for young athletes generally, what they have to go through in order to represent their country. They think it's a skylark. And it's been years in the making. You've worked hard, you've represented your country, you've represented your sport, and the Olympic Committee had no hesitation in putting you forward for a position to go and to assist you in every way that you can.
Jaluk Zafar also competed in the 100-meter freestyle. He clocked a final time of 51.94, placing 54th overall out of 71 swimmers. The association vows to work with swimmers in a bid to increase the number of qualifiers for the 2024 Olympics. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
And that's it for sports. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines.
The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris, wants to alert the public about fake Facebook and social media accounts that are circulating. These sites may look genuine, but they're not. These fake sites may use the Prime Minister's photo and name, but their only intention is to spread misinformation through false and scandalous information. Some of these pages are scams and will attempt to dupe you out of money. Do not trust them. You can find the real Prime Minister Harris on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching for his official handle, which is @PMHarrisKN. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages that claim to be the Prime Minister's but do not have PM Harris KN right after the / are fake accounts. These should be reported to the respective social media sites. You can also report fake social media accounts to presssec@gov.kn. That's PRESSEC@gov.kn. Facebook has verified Prime Minister Harris's official page by placing a white check mark inside a blue circle next to the Prime Minister's name, Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris. This blue circle appears just above @PMHarrisKN. Also, be alert. If the person claiming to be either the Prime Minister or another government official asks you for money through instant messenger, direct message, or any other means, this is a scam and not a real charity. This public service announcement was produced in order to help you be an informed social media user. Protect yourself and help spread the message.
And we're wrapping up with a recap of the top stories. Prime Minister Harris announces investigation into Nigerian with SKN citizenship. Stimulus package payments continue this week, and police investigate man's death at sea. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Berridge. Goodbye.